Good evening, people. So, did we understand something that we discussed yesterday? Were you getting some idea that how we are going to proceed in the foundational classes? But this is a broad overview that how this topic in general has to be approached. Yesterday we have done quite a few topics, so today we will complete the remaining topics of society, and tomorrow we will start with social justice. Okay? So the next topic that we are taking up is the most important topic, and that is salient feature. Salient feature of Indian society. Now, in our syllabus, what is given to us is what are the salient features of Indian society. That is just the syllabus. But what should be considered as a salient feature, that UPSC has not mentioned. Salient matlab any characteristic attribute which is lending some unique character to your society would be considered as its salient feature. So I'm generally asking, we all are part of Indian society, right? And I can assume that minimum 21 years, that's what your age is. So just tell me that what, according to you, are those characteristic features of our society which adds to its uniqueness? Diversity, okay? So the first salient feature that we will study or we should study is diversity in India. And when you are deconstructing diversity in India, how it should be deconstructed, you will study diversity with respect to language. You will study with respect to religion. You will study with respect to region, with respect to race, with respect to ethnicity. Why did we not incorporate caste here? Because caste system would be a separate salient feature of Indian society, and how caste system should be studied, this we have discussed yesterday. So caste is another salient feature. So now what we are doing is the deconstruction of the syllabus. So this is the basic, and I have not added class here. The reason being, class is not unique to our society. But in case we have to study something with respect to class in context of Indian society, it has to be middle class. Because middle class is ever evolving class. Middle class is highly heterogeneous class, and the role of middle class, whether it is the economic aspect, the social aspect, or the political aspect, is very important. Often it is perceived that middle class is the one which actually gives the leadership to various movements that have emerged in context of our society. They are the ones who are the tax-paying section. So they are also contributing to the role of revenue generation in our society. They are the one who's the educated class, rational class. So they can bring about the change by questioning the authority in power. Did you get the point? So middle class becomes very important, and that has to be studied, and that we will study under globalization, which I told you yesterday. So as of now, this is what should be studied under diversity. Now, when you are studying any topic with respect to diversity, just add one more thing. If we are linguistically diverse, it might create the potential of conflict between two groups on the basis of linguistic diversity. So, associated with linguistic diversity, there is a problem or issue of linguistic chauvinism. You are trying to impose the superiority of your language over others. Similarly, when you are preparing religion At the same time, you prepare communalism as well as religious fundamentalism. When you are preparing region as a diversity, here itself you add regionalism. Similarly, here we will add racial intolerance. And here we will add ethno-nationalism. Can you see the comprehensive nature of the topic that you are discussing? And communalism, regionalism is separately also given in your syllabus. But try to cover it here so that a continuity is maintained. And along with diversity, irrespective, whatever is the conflicting issues which are generated, there is another very important salient feature, and that is unity in diversity. This is how you maintain the continuity in the topic, and it becomes easier for you to remember the topics which have to be prepared. Any other salient feature that you want to add? Some unique feature about our society? Multiculturalism. Now, you must be thinking diversity to already likh liya. Then why are we talking about multiculturalism? It says harmonious coexistence between different cultures. So our society is also known for its multicultural nature. But I'll add one thing here. There is another term which is often used in context of Indian society, and that is pluralism. Now, it is all about your perspective. Both multiculturalism and pluralism says harmonious coexistence among diverse cultures. The only difference is, under multiculturalism, we believe there is no dominant culture. And under pluralism, we believe there is a dominant culture. But the essence remains the same. There is peaceful coexistence. So let us suppose you believe that India is a multicultural society, but UPSC says India is a plural society. Don't contest them. We have to write the answer as per the expectation of UPSC. क्योंकि बेसिक एसेंस तो सेम है ना कि पीसफुल कोएग्जिस्टेंस है अमंग डाइवर्स कल्चर. अब डोमिनेंट कल्चर को मानते हैं या नहीं मानते, दैट डिपेंड्स अपॉन द नेचर ऑफ द क्वेश्चन विच इज बीइंग आस्क्ड. अदरवाइज मेनी पीपल इवन यूज द टर्म सिनोनिमसली. Is it making sense? Otherwise, it is not a synonymous word. There is a very important aspect, that is the presence of a dominant culture. Any other salient feature that you want to add? Collectivism. हाँ, ठीक है. The value system हम कह सकते हैं. The traditional value system in our society, whether it is cooperation, whether it is collectivism, we can talk about it. The important aspect is, one of the salient feature is joint family. We have a joint family, and that is one of the salient feature. Another salient feature which I want to add here is patriarchy. Now, patriarchy is not unique to our society. Even then, we are going to prepare it under this heading. Reason being, the manner patriarchy is manifested in our society is what makes it unique. See, everyone understands what's patriarchy. That means women is subjected to some kind of challenges, and it is present across pan-Indian basis. But the challenge faced by upper caste women is very different from lower caste. Upper class is very different from lower class. Rural women is very different from urban women. Different ethnic groups, the issue confronted by women is very different. It is this heterogeneous nature of our society which gives various manifestations to patriarchy, which makes patriarchy a unique feature of our society. और patriarchy को आप डिटेल में वैसे ही पढ़ोगे. Role of women and women organization, we have already talked about it. There is another thing. Can I say it's a salient feature? Because our secularism is very different from the secularism how it is practiced in West. And that is what you study in your polity. So secularism in context of Indian society does contribute the salient feature. अब 2-3 फीचर्स और आते हैं, जैसे एग्रेरियन सोसाइटी और लेट अस से पार्टिसिपेटिव डेमोक्रेसी, बट उसको आपको सोसाइटी में पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं है बिकॉज दैट वुड बी कवर्ड अंडर इकोनॉमी एंड पॉलिटी रिस्पेक्टिवली, बट दीज आर द बेसिक salient features that have to be prepared in detail. Is that very clear? Now, as and when I'll be proceeding, caste system I've done with you, patriarchy I have done with you, communalism, regionalism I have done. Today we will be picking up, let us say, topic from family, or let us say secularism. I will do the deconstruction. Is that very clear for everyone? So holistically, this is how the topic has to be prepared. Now let us just look at the kind of questions. This topic is very important. Reason being, without any doubt, in last 4-5 years, every year 25 marks paper from this section. That means 2 questions, one 10 marker and one 15 marker. And hardly it takes some 4-5 days of preparation, but 25 marks is guaranteed. So it is worth your investment. Is that clear? Now look at the questions. How does Indian society maintain continuity in traditional social values? Enumerate the changes taking place in it. Okay. Now just wait. Read the first question here. What makes Indian society unique in sustaining its culture? Is the question similar to each other? So that means UPSC does repeat their questions. And if not ad verbatim, then the theme is often repeated. So that makes this theme to be an important theme. Okay. Let's see another question. Analyze the salience of sect in Indian society vis-a-vis caste, region, and religion. This was one good question which was being asked. And we will see how this question should be prepared. Acha level tha, I think 2021 ka paper was one of the finest paper as far as society is concerned. Is saal ka paper bhi bahut acha tha, but wo bahut doable tha. 21 ka paper slightly on the difficult side tha. Actually, kya hua? Till 2017, people used to take society very casually. You know, there are 6 questions, but they are very, random questions and everyone can answer. So UPSC has uplifted its level. From 2018 onwards, they have started asking very specific question. And if you don't know what is sect, you can't answer this question. That's for sure. Is that very clear? See the next question. Explore and evaluate the impact of work from home on family relationships. Can I say again, this is a question which falls under the ambit of impact of globalization on family. Everyone knows what is work from home. Now, even you would be knowing the answer also without me teaching you this topic. But how this answer should be presented will make all the difference. Okay. Next, we'll take all these questions because they are very different from each other. Here, I want you to read the third question. Customs and traditions suppress reason, leading to obscurantism. यहाँ पे अगर आपको obscurantism का मतलब नहीं पता है, so sometimes knowing basic English also makes the difference. I still remember, and I quote this example many a times. I remember it was my first attempt in 2010, and I was writing my sociology ka optional paper, and there was a question on serendipity. At that point of time, I didn't know what should be the answer, but I knew what serendipity meant. And if you basically know the literal meaning also, you can write something. It was a 10 marker. So I knew what is serendipity. It is luck by chance. So I linked that when you do research and everything, you might have some luck by chance kind of an experience. You discover something new which can challenge the existing theories. So this is nothing but an impact of research on theory. And it is very similar to what Merton said. And I wrote whatever came to my mind. When I came out of the examination hall, I realized, okay, this was the answer. So what I wrote was actually the right answer. So what I'm just trying to say that sometimes if you know the literal meaning of a topic, you can easily manage to write 100 or 150 words, but never ever leave any question. ऐसे में ये भी हो सकता है कि आपको नहीं समझ आ रहा है, तभी वहीं पे हिंदी ट्रांसलेशन काम आता है. Many a times reading the translation can help you understand what is the demand of the question. So what I'm just trying to say is, it is a simple question. When I'll discuss the answer, you'll realize it is a pretty simple question, but it's just that वो obscurantism देखकर एक बार को वो लगा कि ये क्या पूछ लिया है. So what I was trying to tell you is that many people believe कि ये jargons नहीं करने होते ऐसे. Jargon तभी तक रहता है जब तक आपको उसका मतलब नहीं पता. The day you know the meaning of the term, no longer it is a jargon. So try to improve your preparation rather than trying to expect UPSC to come down in their level. Is that very clear? So let's start one by one with these questions. Explore and evaluate the impact of work from home on family relation. Why am I taking this question first is, it's a simplest question which could have been asked, and you will be giving me the answer. Work from home to sabko pata hai. And this question, to be very honest, we were expecting. But in what capacity, hum ye nahi keh sakte. COVID ke time pe ye sawal aaya tha. Work from home actually became the normal. So now how it is impacting that and how, in what context the question would be asked, this we cannot predict. But something related to work from home can be asked. Yeah, nature of work is undergoing a change. This we were expecting that UPSC can ask something. So now you tell me, how work from home is impacting family relationship? ये तो clear है, positive, negative दोनों लिखना है. That much clarity we have. So tell me some positive impact on the family relationships. You can spend some more time with your family members. So can I say interpersonal relations among the family members can improve? I'll take this point. Anything else? Flexibility aa jati hai. So we can say work-life balance can be managed in a better manner. I'll take this point. More income kyun ho sakti hai? Kyunki savings ज़्यादा हो जाएंगी. Why? Because you would not be spending on traveling and everything. So you can save money. And the more you save money, even the relationships or the peace in the family improves. Because poverty and violence in the family has a direct correlation. So that is also a positive impact. Anything else? हाँ, so एक काम कह सकते हैं, जो एक sexual division of labor exist करता है, a strict sexual division of labor, that will be diluted. So even the conjugal, the marital relations will also improve, because no longer it would be driven by the traditional sexual division of labor. We'll take this point also. Anything else? Absolutely, absolutely. Safety and security. For women, it would be easy to participate in the labor market because she would not be subjected to the challenges which she faces otherwise in the workplace. Brilliant point. What else? ये कम होता है, ये बढ़ जाता है, इसको नेगेटिव में ले लेते हैं. ठीक है, we'll take this point in the negative aspect, that actually it increases the burden, because no matter how much you say that the division of labor is getting diluted, there is no clear-cut definition. So the burden on women in the family increases manyfold. So we'll take this point in the other side. घर में बच्चे भी तो हैं, फैमिली रिलेशनशिप है ना. अब आप खुद सोचो इसको कैसे लिखना चाहिए. आप मन में बनाते 3 हेडिंग. Parents' relationship with the child, husband and wife relationship, and in general the relationship with the other family members. You could have written a better answer. You would have written the same points. But अगर मन में ये 3 heading लिखोगे या ये 3 heading answer में भी लिखोगे, you will not repeat your point and the points will exactly come in your mind. Can we say better parenting? Democratic parenting, better socialization, because now parents can keep a check what their children are indulging into. So that can improve the kind of parenting the parents are providing to the children. So this is how the answer writing has to be done. Now tell me the other side of the story. Mental pressure, absolutely. Stress, anxiety, uska reason hai. There is a constant fear. वो बोलते नहीं, out of sight, out of mind. So when you are not going to your workplace, there is a constant fear that whether you will continue to work at that workplace or not, because you're not constantly interacting with your boss, you're not interacting with your peer group, so you don't know what they are doing. So continuous anticipation chalta rehta hai mind mein ki what they are up to. So stress and anxiety level increases. Most importantly, we all are social animals. That's our basic need to interact with other people. Only then we can develop our social skills. But that might lead to work from home, social isolation, which can put us on the back foot. Any other point that you, Hanji? Absolutely, yes. I'll totally agree. Dual burden, triple burden. So that will increase in the family. In fact, incidences of domestic violence has also increased. There is a report by UN Women which has said that during COVID pandemic, there was another pandemic which was happening, shadow pandemic. And that was increase in incidences of domestic violence. So within the shadow of COVID, there was another problem which is emerging, that is increase in domestic violence. So we can absolutely take this point. Any other point that you want to give? Sedentary lifestyle, that can have a lot of impact in your lifestyle diseases bhi keh sakte ho, and that will negatively impact your relationship with the other members. Yes, you were saying. Absolutely.
Jobs we can say for that सफाई वाले अंकल लोग, उन लोगों के जॉब उन पे इम्पैक्ट पड़ेगा.
See, here the point is that it is not only in the backdrop of COVID. They did not mention COVID. So there is no guarantee that people are not recruiting domestic helpers. If the question would have been COVID, then we would have taken that point. Here the question is work from home. We are talking about COVID because we knew in which year the question was asked. Okay? Anything else that you want to say? See, it's good that you can keep a check on your children, but constant check is not good for a healthy relation. Because now children were like, ye parents ja hi nahi rahe hain ghar se. So the point here is that constant hawkeye would be there. So that might negatively impact, because child might feel that their freedom is coming under threat. So that also is, kisi bhi cheez ki ati achhi nahi hoti. So that becomes a challenge. Any other point? Absolutely, privacy issue. In fact, इस privacy issue को कैसे link कर सकते हैं? There are many times होता है ना कि not everyone is living in big houses who have their separate rooms or something. Let us suppose you are having an important meeting of your office and पीछे से आवाज आ रही है, अरे कुकर पे खाना चढ़ा हुआ है, सीटी बज गई है, कुकर बंद कर दो, and you are having a meeting with your boss and there is some random people in their house dress moving here and there and you are getting embarrassed. There can be lot many things, and actually it is an issue of conflict. During COVID ऐसे बहुत सारे cases भी आए थे जहाँ घर में झगड़े हो जाते थे क्योंकि कोई privacy नहीं मिल रही, एक Google Meet नहीं हो पा रही है, and constantly घर की बातें, और फिर वो viral भी हो जाती थी. So the point here is that yes, that also becomes the issue of conflict among the family members. See, you have to keep two things in mind. It's a simple question. But one, the focus is work from home. And second, in the context of family relationships. So every time you are writing your point, you have to tell how work from home is positively impacting family relationship, how it is negatively impacting फैमिली रिलेशनशिप. अगर इनकम बढ़ने की भी बात कर रहे हो, सेविंग की भी बात कर रहे हो, तो फिर उसको लिंक करो कि अगर सेविंग ज्यादा होंगी तो उससे क्या पॉजिटिव इंपैक्ट है फैमिली रिलेशनशिप पे, क्योंकि क्वेश्चन इनकम पे नहीं है, क्वेश्चन फैमिली रिलेशनशिप पे है. तो इस चीज को ध्यान रखना. एंड आई हैव टोल्ड यू यस्टरडे आल्सो, साइन पोस्टेड रहना इज वेरी important. Rest every point that you've given is the same point that we are going to discuss. Culture of work from home, although existed earlier, has become the new normal post pandemic. It has impacted all the dimensions of our life, whether social, economic, environmental, and most importantly, the family aspect. Now, positive impact, work-life balance. If you have some report, उस time पे reports आपके पास थी, because every now and then this used to be covered in the news. तो McKinsey की report थी that how when you work from home, the family relationships, the work-life balance is maintained. Then weakening of relationship of class and affordability of leisure time. It is always a perception that a certain class people have that luxury to spend quality time with their family. But this work from home has weakened this relationship. Now even middle class had the luxury to spend quality time with their family because they were working from home. Then improved relationship. ये mental health का institute है NIMHANS. It said that it surveyed 89% households and it was found that in 89% of the households जहाँ पे भी discord conflict exist कर रहा था, that reduced because of work from home. So somebody talked about improved interpersonal relations. Then we can talk about overall increase in solidarity and cohesion in the family because you have better communication. You are talking to each other. So wo jo communication gap hota hai, that is not being experienced. Then strengthening of joint conjugal roles because no longer there is strict division of labor. Then saving traveling your time and cost. Then again it can be written. Strengthening of parent-child relation. More bargaining power in a marital relation because now women is also entering the labor market. Reintegration of joint family. COVID के बाद there were many joint families which got reintegrated. Nobody wants to live away from their family. It is majburi of employment opportunity. But with work from home, people started going back to their family. So reintegration of joint family. So see, did you realize under every heading, we are linking it with family relationships. So that link has to be established. Then the negative impact. क्लैरिटी रिगार्डिंग वर्क नहीं है, आइसोलेशन है, इंक्रीज्ड एंजाइटी है. मैंने यहां पे आंसर खत्म नहीं किया. रीड द लेस. इंक्रीज टेंशंस इन रिलेशनशिप क्योंकि क्वेश्चन किससे लिंक्ड है? रिलेशनशिप से. अगेन वर्क फ्रॉम होम था, difficult for organization to gauge your strength and weaknesses, lack of avenues for growth and promotion, but then it is negatively affecting your relationships. Then NCW की report that incidences of domestic violence has increased. If domestic violence is increasing, ये तो बताने की जरूरत नहीं कि family relationships are getting negatively impacted. Then trade-off. आप क्वांटिटी ऑफ टाइम तो ज्यादा बिता रहे हो बट द क्वालिटी ऑफ टाइम इज डिक्लाइनिंग. व्हाई? बिकॉज नाउ देयर इज नो क्लियर कट डिविजन. ऐसे तो था ना कि 10 से 7 का ऑफिस है, 9 से 6 का ऑफिस है, एक बार घर आ जाओ तो फिर घर पे टाइम स्पेंड करो. वर्क फ्रॉम होम में तो ये कोई डिविजन है ही नहीं, हर वक्त आप काम ही कर रहे हो, तो दिख जरूर रहे हो बट क्वालिटी ऑफ टाइम इज नॉट बीइंग स्पेंड. देन इशू ऑफ ओवर पेरेंटिंग. जब कुछ नहीं होता क्या कर रहे हो, अब क्या कर रहे हो, तो वो जो फ्रीडम ऑफ चाइल्ड है दैट इज नेगेटिवली गेटिंग इंपैक्टेड. देन वर्क फ्रॉम होम में इंक्रीज एक्सप्लॉयटेशन होता है बाय द सुपीरियर, तो फीलिंग ऑफ रिलेटिव डेप्रिवेशन आती है कि इतना तो पैसा नहीं दे रहे हो जितना तुम खून पी रहे हो. सो दैट इज ऑल्सो वन ऑफ द रीजन की स्ट्रेस और एंजाइटी इंक्रीज हो जाती है. देन ब्लर्ड बाउंड्रीज बिटवीन वर्क प्लेस एंड होम. Many families are living in small spaces, so chances of increase in conflict is there. Then increased conflict due to unequal division of responsibility. Because देखो, having said that, no matter how much we work for women empowerment, patriarchy is a harsh reality of the society. So the burden is often shifted to the women. Then finally, when we are concluding, see, in such situations, work from home is a good option. It is a good alternative where both private, public is getting colluded. All we need to do is that whatever are the challenges that needs to be addressed. या तो इतना लिख के छोड़ दो, नहीं तो एक आध solution दे दो in order to address those challenges, and then you can conclude your answer. Is it making sense? Now again, I'm reiterating, you don't have to write every point. That is just to help you to collect a fodder. But remember, there has to be 3 headings: parent-child relation, husband-wife relation, and relation with other family members. So if under both positive and negative, you're just writing 3 points also, you will fetch marks. Is this very clear for everyone? Can we go to the next question? Again, this is a very interesting question. How does Indian society maintain continuity in traditional social values? Question mark. Enumerate changes taking place in it. Now, don't look at the screen for the answer. I just want to ask something. In such questions, what should be your starting point of brainstorming? ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग मतलब कहाँ से उस आंसर को सोचना शुरू करना है. देखो यार, आंसर तो मैं वैसे भी आपको मिल रहा है, उस पर इतना क्योंकि कोई जरूरत हो ना कि सेम क्वेश्चन रिपीट हो. अगर ऐसा क्वेश्चन आया है, हाउ डज इंडियन सोसाइटी मेंटेन कंटिन्यूटी इन द ट्रेडिशनल सोशल वैल्यूज, तो आप बस मुझे ये बताओ, व्हाट इज द फर्स्ट थिंग दैट यू शुड थिंक ऑफ? Exactly. What are the traditional social values of India? Now, can anybody contribute? What are our traditional social values? Collectivism is our traditional social value. Anything else? Respecting elders, family obedience. हाँ, ठीक है, we can take that. Anything else? Collectivism. Compassion. You have collectivism, you have compassion, you have strong religious orientation. That can be a point. Familial obedience. Most importantly, patriarchy. वो भी तो traditional social value है, right? Caste system. That is also traditional social value, that how society is arranged in a hierarchy based on the notions of purity and pollution. See, यहाँ पे question ये नहीं है कि ये value सही है या गलत. Positive, negative is not the question. Question ये है कि how we are continuing our traditional social values. So first you should know what are the traditional social values, and then you have to tell that how those traditional social values are continuing in our society. So do we agree we are still having that collective fervor? We are still cooperating with each other. There is still tolerance that we practice among each other. Still there is some amount of patriarchy which is existing. Still there are conceptions of purity and pollution. Tell me how we are continuing this. Celebrating festivals. By celebrating festivals, you are transmitting the traditional values from one generation to another. Many a times, कभी कभी नहीं होता, घर का बच्चा पूछता है, अच्छा तो दिवाली क्यों मनाते हैं? अच्छा तो दशहरा क्यों होता है? अच्छा तो होली का क्या सिग्निफिकेंस है? तो by celebrating festival, you are transmitting values from one generation to another. Very well said. What other things? Commensality, absolutely. When you are interdining with each other, so when you interact with each other, that is also a process through which you are transferring your value system. तो इसको एक बड़ी heading में डाल दो, socialization. Who are the agencies of socialization? Religion is an agency. Education system is an agency, family is an agency, parent is an agency, society is an agency. So through these agencies of socialization, the traditional values are transmitted from one generation to another. और कुछ आज exactly social media. Social media is also an important reason why the traditional social values are continuing. We'll take this point. What else? Endogamy, absolutely, we can take that point. Endogamy is also one of the reasons why certain value systems are existing or transmitted over generation. Anything else? Joint families? हाँ ठीक है, जहां सोशलाइजेशन की बात करेंगे वहीं पे दे देना फॉर एग्जाम्पल जॉइंट फैमिलीज. ठीक है, एब्सोल्युटली. पॉलिटी में क्या पढ़ते हैं? पॉलिटी का आधार क्या है? Which is the supreme law of land? Exactly. So one of the reasons why traditional social values are still continuing are the provisions of the constitution, which helps you preserving, protecting your traditional culture. Is that very clear? Another important factor which you can write is migration. When you migrate from one area to another, you are not just physically migrating, you are also carrying your value system. Is that very clear? So this is first half of the answer. What is the second half? They are also acknowledging the fact that although traditional social values are continuing, but there are some changes which has emerged. So you also have to enumerate the changes. अब एक फर्क समझना. Enumerate का मतलब होता है सिर्फ लिस्ट करना. उसको आपको डिस्कस करने की जरूरत नहीं है. You are just supposed to list the changes which has happened. So जो आपने traditional social value सोचा था ना, उसी का opposite को list कर दो. For example, कहीं हमारे यहाँ tolerance है, that is the traditional social value. But today there is rising incidences of intolerance. There is a time when we talk collectivism is a traditional value. But today what we witness is individualism. Instead of joint families, there is proliferation of nuclear families. एक time था we were governed by spiritualism, minimalism. Today we are governed by materialism, consumerism. Can you see the change? एक time था we were governed by strong religious orientation. People today are moving towards secularism. There was a time when there was a hierarchical setup. People now are trying to promote egalitarianism in the society. There was a time when patriarchy was a dominant value, but today we are promoting the concept of gender equality. So ऐसा नहीं है that changes are not happening. Again, I'll reiterate, I'm not talking about positive or negative change. We are just talking about the change. And finally, you can give a good conclusion that no society remains static for all time to come. However, they do not undergo a complete change. There is some factor which continues and some factors which underwent a change. Is that very clear for everyone? ये bottom line है society का कि कुछ change हुआ है और कुछ होना बाकी है. थोड़ा है, थोड़े की जरूरत है. Is that very clear for everyone? Is the answer making sense? See, I didn't teach you, gave me the answer. So all you need to focus is, वो क्या होता है जब क्वेश्चन आता है कभी कभी इतना जनरल लगता है that people think that there is some catch in the question, but there is no catch. जो पूछा है बिल्कुल वैसे ही आंसर करो. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन we'll take. इस पे सोचो. Customs and tradition suppress reason, leading to obscurantism. But before we proceed, I think I need to tell you what is obscurantism. Obscurantism मतलब बातें छुपाना, not revealing the complete detail. तो ये कह रहा है कि customs and tradition. Everybody understands what are customs? See, customs basically means widely approved way of behaving, and which is very specific to a particular society, particular time, or particular place. But when customs are transmitted from one generation to another, then it results into forming a tradition. So it is a question which says कि ये जो customs और tradition होते हैं, it suppresses your reason, मतलब तर्क करने की शक्ति को suppress करते हैं, which results into obscurantism. मतलब you are not revealing the entire truth. What you are telling is a partial truth. Is that very clear? Now again, any such question, you will not blatantly write one-sided story. It has to be the combination of two. ठीक है? So now you tell me some of the points. अच्छा, ये वाला question है क्या पहले? I'll come back to this question again. Let's discuss पहले customs and tradition वाला. Superstitions, absolutely I'll take this point. ठीक है? Let's not get into that. I'll take that point. ठीक है? So I'll take superstition वाला point. Is there anything else? Okay. I'll make you understand in a easier manner. Let's just try to understand. There are some customs. अब इसको मैं समझाने, पढ़ाने के तरीके से नहीं पढ़ा रही, मैं आपको आंसर राइटिंग के तरीके से पढ़ा रही हूँ. पहली चीज मेरे दिमाग में आई कि इस क्वेश्चन में मुझे दोनों साइड्स लिखने हैं. तो देन आई थॉट लेट मी थिंक ऑफ एग्जाम्पल ऑफ गुड कस्टम्स, and then let me think of examples of some customs which are very regressive. I am not teaching you, I'm just telling you how to answer the question. So the moment I thought of some regressive customs, I thought child marriage is a problem, endogamy is a problem, honor killing is a problem, female genital mutilation is a problem, mensurating women not allowed to touch household objects might be a problem, corporal punishments to the children to discipline them, that's also a tradition, so that is a problem. Fire walking to prove your faith or devotion to your God, that can also be a regressive custom. So फिर मैंने एक मन में लिस्ट बनाई, okay, these are my regressive customs. Now I'm thinking, are there any positive customs? So celebrating festivals, that is a positive custom because it helps in promoting cohesion and harmony. Then have you heard of the custom of langar? It is such a beautiful custom where you are doing welfare, selfless service to others, where everyone is treated equally. Have you heard of Makar Sankranti? There is a culture of donation. ठीक है? तो there is nothing better than helping the other people. So again, Makar Sankranti is a good thing. Then have you heard of this chanting mantras in Buddhism in order to establish the moral fabric of the society? So do we realize that there are some very good progressive customs? अब example दिमाग में आ गए, अब points लिखो और एक एक लाइन में example लिखो, आंसर तैयार. Absolutely. Absolutely. It helps in maintaining the social fabric of the society. It is not just about कि आपका कुछ जा रहा है. By giving respect to the others, you maintain that cordial relation in the society. बिल्कुल लिखो ये point. Do you get the point how the answer writing has to be done? Let's have a look. What are customs? What are traditions? The definition you will find in ethics paper. Actually क्या होता है ना, society में definitions इन topics की नहीं आती, लेकिन ethics में हर चीज की डेफिनेशन तैयार होती है, क्योंकि एथिक्स में तो कोई बड़ी बात नहीं, वो यही पूछ ले व्हाट आर कस्टम्स एंड ट्रेडिशंस. and how it is source of ethics in the society. So you need to know what are customs, what are traditions. Now, linking statement. See, these customs and traditions are very strongly embedded in our group life, and they are determining our behavior in the society. Now, before we proceed with the answer, I already told you the answer. Let me tell you a few things. See, ideal situation hoti hai that every individual has a confidence that they can bring the change in the society, or they can lead a life on the right path. But not every individual has courage. Because there is always a fear na, akela chana kya bhad fodega. One swallow does not make a summer. So there is a constant fear. So for most of us, I am including most of us, for us, the group is very important. We all want to be the part of group, and that group can be anything. It can be a family, it can be a religion, it can be a caste group, any group, but we want to be a part of it. So this group, whatever customs they are following, we will be following the same customs. We will not have that courage to question the customs, even if they are regressive in nature. That is the reason, even after prohibition of child marriage, it still persist. Even after so many issues or discrediting of the certain caste-based institutions by Supreme Court, honor killing is still persisting in the society. Caste endogamy is still a reality. Only 11% marriages are intercaste. So why all of this is happening? Because no one dares to go against the established customs of the group. Is that very clear? Second thing, these customs are considered not only as a regulator of our behavior, but also the determinant of the behavior. So some kind of conformity is there, that whatever custom is existing, we have to conform to that custom. And most importantly, we believe, many of us, that these customs, whatever they are saying, is the right thing to do. So there is a conservatism. We don't question the existing customs. And that is why all the examples that I gave, they are still existing in our society. Even today, parents believe कि corporal punishment देने से, या teachers in school believe that corporal punishment देने से बच्चा discipline हो जाएगा. They don't even realize that you are causing a negative impact on their psyche. So the tradition, customs are existing because हमें, और कभी-कभी हम पूछते हैं ना कि ये क्यों होता है? होता आ रहा है. होता आ रहा है इसलिए सही होगा. So it is suppressing our reason, which is leading to obscurantism. Is that very clear? On the other side of the story, we have already talked about that. What is the other side of the story? That is the positive role that the customs play in our life. Significance of customs and traditions, we have given most of the examples. जो भी हमने बात करी, we can write. You can add more to it. But जब मैं conclude करने का सोच रही थी, तो मैंने सोचा एक term अच्छा है. न्यूज़पेपर आर्टिकल में था, आंद्रे बेटे का टर्म था, बट मैंने सोचा इसको कहीं भी यूज करते. कास्ट इन स्टोन, पत्थर की लकीर. कैन वी से सोसाइटी इज डायनेमिक, इट इज चेंजिंग. सो नो कस्टम एंड ट्रेडिशन शुड बी ट्रीटेड एज कास्ट इन स्टोन. मतलब पत्थर की लकीर नहीं होना चाहिए. एंड एवरी कस्टम शुड बी गवर्न्ड बाय रैशनैलिटी. It should be progressive in nature. It should not be regressive. And why so? Because one of our fundamental duty is to promote scientific temper in the society. So did you realize how we are linking everything that you have studied? So this is how answer writing should be focused upon. और ये धीरे धीरे खुद ही आ जाएगा. कुछ चीजें हैं जो बिल्कुल एक टिप्स पे होनी चाहिए. एक preamble, दूसरा fundamental duties, तीसरा गांधी जी के 7 sins. So ये गांधी जी's talisman, the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, sustainable development goals. ये कितना काम आएगा आपको अपना आंसर कंक्लूड करने में. You will realize the importance when you are writing your mains. Is that very clear for everyone? Now, this is one interesting question. अब एक चीज है, आई एम नॉट टेलिंग यू दैट हाउ टू प्रिपेयर द करंट ईयर, क्योंकि इसका करंट से कोई लेना देना नहीं है. इट इज ऑल द कॉन्सेप्चुअल पार्ट. आप बाद में लिंक करते रहो कि ये इसलिए पूछा होगा और उसलिए पूछा होगा. कॉन्सेप्चुअल है, पढ़ना था. ठीक है, अच्छा क्वेश्चन है. डू यू थिंक मैरिज एज अ सेक्रेमेंट इज लूजिंग इट्स वैल्यू इन मॉडर्न इंडिया? हाँ बिल्कुल. Diverse? Acha, okay. The diverse forms are emerging. Absolutely, yes. Westernization, secularism, absolutely correct. ठीक है, diverse form of marriages. We can take this point. Absolutely correct. Anything else? Desacralization, absolutely correct. Now you need to give the reasons why this is happening. Secularization हो रहा है तो religious significance of marriage has, or overall religious significance in the society has declined. So as a result, the sacred aspect of marriage has declined. And why and where it is evident, increased incidences of divorce and separation. So link this point, that how secularization has impacted the sacramental aspect of the marriage. There is another thing which is happening, that is desacralization or de-ritualization. Now people are going for civil marriage, where some kind of legal ceremony is given more importance rather than elaborate rituals. और ये जो elaborate rituals होते हैं, that only contributes to the sacramental nature of marriage. So what is happening is desacralization or de-ritualization. But the most important point, commercialization of marriage. Lavish wedding, lavish catering, और वो green मेहंदी पे पहनना, येलो कलर हल्दी पे पहनना, हल्दी क्यों होती है इससे मतलब नहीं है, मेहंदी क्यों लगती है इससे मतलब नहीं है, लेकिन सब ग्रीन पहने हुए होने चाहिए, बैकग्राउंड डेकोरेशन वैसा ही होना चाहिए. सो solemnity ऑफ मैरिज से फोकस हैज शिफ्टेड टू ऑप्यूलेंस ऑफ सेलिब्रेशन. The bride is not concerned about the groom, she is concerned about the entry song. And there are many videos which shows bride refuse to get married till the time DJ plays the right song. So the point here is the purpose of marriage has underwent a change. So that is causing damage to the sacramental aspect. और अब देखो, जिस कल I think somebody was talking about the words, the significance of the word. The moment you write secularization, you don't need to define secularization. You just need to give the example. Increase incidences of divorce and separation. The moment you write de-ritualization, you don't need to give the meaning. You just need to give the example. For example, emergence of civil marriages. The moment you write commercialization of marriage, you just need to talk about how the focus has been shifted on lavish celebration. Somebody talked about the live-in relationship. So alternative to the institution of marriages are emerging, which is also causing threat to the significance of sacramental aspect of marriage. Even adultery, which is committed in a marital relation, that is also putting a threat on the sacramental aspect of marriage. So वो जो एक होता नहीं था कि ties after death will also be maintained, 7 जन्म का रिश्ता, even if it is a love marriage or an arranged marriage. अब एक नया form of marriage according to Anthony Giddens have emerged, that is confluent marriage, love until further notice. So the point, नहीं, hey, this is there, कि till the time your partner is contributing to your professional and personal growth, you continue to remain with that person. Otherwise, आप उसे individuality कह लो, freedom कह लो, space कह लो. I am not talking about the toxic relationships. I'm talking about otherwise the relationship. वो जो एक कहते नहीं एक adjustment level, all of that has underwent a change. क्योंकि वो जो sacramental aspect of marriage था ना, कि marriages are indissoluble. The ties have to be maintained even after, or they remain even after death. वो जो sacred aspect of marriage था, that has taken a backseat in the backdrop of modern India. But again, I told you, you have to write both the side of the story. So this is a partial truth. आज भी elaborate rituals practice होते हैं. आज भी कन्यादान हो गया, सप्तपदी हो गया, वो जो 7 फेरे वाला होता है, वो आज भी परफॉर्म होता है. आज भी there is endogamy which is being practiced. आज भी there is observation of fast for the longevity of your spouse. तो आज भी वो traditional practices exist करती हैं. Is that very clear? But हाँ, थोड़ा difference आया है कि पहले observation of fast used to be genuinely for the longevity. But now it is to make a reel and to post. So the point here is कि थोड़ा सा purpose change हुआ है in modern India. But otherwise, did you understand the answer? And see, this is how answer writing has to be done. इसमें कोई क्या ही पढ़ा देगा आपको? हाँ, क्या पढ़ाएगा वो बताती हूँ. Secularization, desacralization, ये जो terms होते हैं ये आप पढ़ते हो. इन्हें use कैसे करते हो ये आप पे depend करता है. Is it making sense for everyone? Is the answer clear for everyone? See, it is easier, very easy to analyze the questions once the paper has been done. But this was a difficult question. I think sociology optional students might have written it well, but otherwise for society in general, we cannot say कि नहीं ये तो cakewalk था, ऐसा बिल्कुल नहीं था, ठीक है. So if I have to tell you that how to be prepared for such question, I will just give one heads up. You should be knowing the concept. I'll tell you what I did in the classroom. We discussed what is sect. We discussed what is cult. We also discussed the reasons for growth of sect and cult. This is what we discussed in the classroom. From there you can extract the answer. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि आपको fodder मिलेगा नहीं, but it's just that depending upon the demand of the question, you have to arrange the answer. So if I have to tell you how to prepare, I will tell you one thing, just be very clear with the concepts. And for every concept, you should have at least 2 to 3 examples so that you can at least write a 10 marker. Now read the question. Analyze the salience of sect vis-a-vis caste, region, religion in Indian society. It was a 15 marker. So one thing was sure for me, that I would be dividing these 3 parts. Salience of sect vis-a-vis caste, salience of sect vis-a-vis region, salience of sect vis-a-vis religion. These are my 3 subheadings of body. Yahan clarity mujhe mil gayi. Then I was thinking, what should I write in the introduction? Hands down, it has to be the definition of sect. So you have to write a good detailed definition of sect. Any idea what is sect? Huh? Or? Okay, I'll give you example. Shia and Sunni are sect. Catholics, Protestants are sect. Now tell me. Haan, bilkul. It is an offshoot of the existing religion due to different interpretation of the core beliefs. Brilliant. We'll take this point. Is that very clear? This is sect. You can start with a definition of sect. You can talk about 1 or 2 characteristic feature, and then you can write the examples of sect. So when you are writing the example, write the dominant religion. Within that, what are the example of sect? Then write a dominant religion, and then write the example of sect. This is how the introduction has to be done. Now we have to talk about the salience, and I told you, every time you don't need to write a linking statement. With a subheading also you can write the answer. We'll start with the subheading. Salience of sect vis-a-vis caste. इन तीनों में से जो एक चीज कॉमन थी, जो सब समझ सकते थे, वो था salience of sect vis-a-vis religion. Because it is an offshoot of the existing religion. Why? Due to different interpretation of the core beliefs. And it is said that sect is a very close-knit group. And any kind of dissent is not tolerated. And those who ever join the sect, they join it voluntarily. And once you join the sect, you have to practice the beliefs. As simple as that. Now, if I have to draw the salience of sect vis-a-vis caste, so usually it is found, I'm generally saying, isko thoda link karte hain. Everyone is aware of the fact that caste is a system of stratification. थोड़ा बहुत purity and pollution. There is some amount of discrimination. तो ये हो सकता है ना, that a person who is belonging to lower caste is feeling trapped in this construct because they are subjected to discrimination, or let us say untouchability. So now this person is looking for some alternative where they are treated equally and are not being discriminated. So that alternative was provided by sect. There were various sects which were questioning the caste-based discrimination. For example, Kabir Panth sect. For example, Ravi Dasya sect. So people were joining these sects. Most importantly, caste की अगर बात करें तो हम कह सकते हैं ascriptive है. You don't choose your caste. You are born into your caste. But sect is something which you can choose. Because you have to join that sect voluntarily. Is that making sense? So that is nothing but salience of sect vis-a-vis caste. Then if I have to talk about salience of sect vis-a-vis region, तो मैं एक simple सी बात बताती हूँ. Let us suppose this is my urban area. And urban area में there was lot of development. So you became urban, educated, upwardly mobile professional class. You were achieving lot of growth in your professional career. Still you were not happy. You were feeling deprived. पैसे का डेप्रीवेशन नहीं था. घर आपने नया पेंट हाउस खरीद लिया, लग्जरी कार खरीद ली, आप वीपी बन गए अपनी कंपनी के, बट फिर भी आप खुश नहीं हो क्योंकि स्पिरिचुअल डेप्रीवेशन था. सो यू वर लुकिंग फॉर एन ऑल्टरनेटिव विच कैन हेल्प यू seek that solace, and as a result sects started emerging in the affluent regions. Did you get my point? Many areas there have been so much of modernity, so much of urbanization, and at that point of time, in fact, but many people believed that as and when we are moving towards modernity, significance of religion will decline because science will emerge. But even science could not answer many questions, and especially the proof is COVID. There were so many healthy people who succumbed. There are so many incidences of cardiac arrest among people who were absolutely healthy. So many a times science is unable to answer. So even today, that unanswerable question or vacuum is filled by religion. So in the absence of that certainty in a modern life, people are seeking solace in sect. Did you get the point? So salience of sect vis-a-vis caste, vis-a-vis region, and vis-a-vis religion. And finally, you can conclude the answer. Did you understand my point? ये सब हम पढ़ते हैं क्लास में, तो इतनी कोई बड़ी बात नहीं. All of this we study, but it's just that इस heading में नहीं पढ़ा था. तो यहाँ पे presence of mind use होता है कि आप sect पढ़ते कहाँ हो ये दिखा देती हूँ. There are 2-3 topics we have discussed so far. So let me just tell you where you will be studying this, or how you should be preparing this. Let me put it this way.
Hello aspirants, ready to master the UPSC prelims exams? Introducing Sandhan, the personalized test series from Vision IAS. Gain access to over 15,000 high-quality questions customized for your personal study needs. Choose between Vision IAS and UPSC previous year questions for your tests. Sharpen your time management with timed assessments under exam conditions. Get tailored feedback and recommendations from targeted improvement. Build your confidence through customized practice sessions. Take control of your preparation. Enroll in the Sandhan Personalized Test Series today.
Under diversity, we said one of the source of diversity is religion. You study two things: inter-religious diversity and intra-religious diversity. And when you study intra-religious diversity, here you study sects and cults. तभी कहते हैं deconstruction of the syllabus is very important. नहीं तो जब पेपर में आएगा आप यही ढूंढते रह जाओगे सेक्ट था कहाँ पूरे सिलेबस में. तो सेक्ट यहाँ था सिलेबस में. Is it making sense for everyone? ठीक है. Similarly, when we are studying family, so we will be studying joint family as a topic, or if you are preparing on your own, then how you should prepare is concept of family, types of families, features of joint family. But again, I'll reiterate, इसमें से सवाल नहीं आएंगे. सवाल अब आएंगे. Functions and dysfunctions of the family, life cycle of joint family, emergent forms of family. Somebody was talking about sologamy, somebody was talking about diverse. So you study here emergent forms of family, and finally we study impact of globalization on institution of joint family. हो नहीं सकता कि कोई टॉपिक छूट जाए. This is how, if you prepare in detail, even if you have not directly prepared the topic, you would have enough fodder that you can write a 10 or a 15 marker. So deconstruction of syllabus is very important. So where do you find joint family? Under salient feature. And within joint family, it has to be prepared like this. In fact, there was a direct question by UPSC. Discuss the factors responsible for life cycle of joint family. It is the economic factors rather than social values which governs the life cycle of joint family. That was the question. So sometimes if luck prevails, you can get a direct question also. Is it making sense? Can we proceed now? See? Next, we'll be taking up secularism. Read the question. Are tolerance, assimilation, and pluralism the key elements in making of an Indian form of secularism? Can you write the answer if you don't know the meaning of assimilation and pluralism? It will be difficult, right? That is why I told you that keywords have to be prepared. And these are the keywords wo aapko jo list milegi, every keyword is there. As in when we discuss, you will be knowing the meaning, but the keyword ka ek list is for everyone. Even if you are not the foundation batch student, it would be provided to you so that you can gain some knowledge and you can apply that knowledge. But before we proceed, let me give you an idea how secularism has to be prepared. It's an interesting topic you study in polity, but one thing, how you prepare in polity is slightly different from how you prepare in society. तो हम कैसे पढ़ते हैं? You have a topic secularism. You start with the concept of secularism. Second, you prepare the models of secularism. And there are three basic models which needs to be prepared. One is the US model of secularism. Second is the France model of secularism. And third is the model that we practice in context of India. Once we have discussed this, there is another concept that is known as secularization. It's a social concept. Secularism is a political concept. Secularization is a social concept. And then we study what is known as contemporary issues. And when you study contemporary issue, there is an evergreen topic, uniform civil code. There is another topic, doctrine of essential religious practice versus the concept of judicio-papism. It is important and one should prepare this. Because when you prepare this topic, then issue of Sabrimala, triple talaq, santhara, everything will fall under this ambit. So jitne bhi current developments hain, automatically this will fall under this ambit. Is it making sense for everyone? Okay. Now, why did I give you this diagram? There is a reason. Although हमें 5 साल के questions discuss करने थे, तो वो एक question है जो हम discuss करेंगे. But other than that, twice UPSC asked the same question: how Indian model of secularism is different from West. So that means they were asking a question on comparison. Now, why did I take this question? I just wanted to tell you, whenever there is a question on comparison, don't randomly compare. Suppose karo, I want to compare these two people. I will say, she is a girl and she is from Delhi. Is there any basis to this comparison? कि एक को तो का तो मैंने जेंडर बताया और दूसरे का मैंने डोमिसाइल बताया, लेकिन अब मुझे कंपेयर करना है तो मैंने लिस्ट बनाई. फर्स्ट जेंडर, सेकंड एजुकेशनल क्वालिफिकेशन, तीसरा डोमिसाइल, फोर्थ एज. नाउ द कंपैरिजन बिकम्स easier and it is more clear. So if I have to compare, let us say, I'm giving you just one example. If I have to compare, let us say, US and India's model of secularism. So whenever you are preparing or presenting such answers, do it like this. Here you give the parameters based on which you are doing your comparison. Let us say here it is US and here it is India. Now here the first parameter I am using is a concept. That how in context of US, the sphere of politics is separated from sphere of religion. No one shall be discriminated based on the religion he or she practices, and state shall not adopt any religion as a state religion. That's the concept in context of US. With respect to India, we will say that the wall of separation between sphere of politics and religion is porous. That means religion can never interfere in the matter of politics, but state can interfere in the matter of religion in order to show some kind of disagreement and to give effect to the progressive voices. दोनों का हमने concept discuss कर लिया. Next heading. Based on the concept, the next heading is the nature of secularism. So can I say in context of US, you have arm length distance? Na religion interfere in politics, nor politics interfere in religion. School की assembly में खड़े हुए हो, मैम ने बोला है maintain one arm distance, वो इसीलिए कहा जाता है, ना आप सामने वाले को दुखी करोगे ना वो आपको दुखी करेगा. So what exists in context of US is a arm length distance. लेकिन इंडिया में arm length नहीं है. It is known as principled distance because state has a liberty to decide whether to interfere or not. Is that very clear? ठीक है. Once we have done the nature, then we can talk about the rationale. Logic क्या है? तो हम कह सकते हैं ना, US में religion is considered as a private affair. So neither state has a liability nor right to interfere in your private affairs. But in context of India, it is religiously plural nature. And the leadership was committed to the equal respect for all religion. And that is why we have used this kind of model. So the point here is, one, you write the concept. Second, you write the nature. Third, you are writing the rationale. Fourth, you can talk about the scope. Can I say in US there is no scope for state-sponsored reforms? क्योंकि state interfere ही नहीं करेगा. But in context of India, there is a scope for state-sponsored religious reforms. For example, abolition of triple talaq. For example, abolition of untouchability. See, state-sponsored religious reforms. And finally, we can talk about the rights. Can I say in US, it only talks about individual rights? Whereas in context of India, it is both individual and community-specific rights, and you can mention the provision of the Constitution. So do you realize? अब suppose करो किसी की handwriting बहुत बड़ी है और ये टेबल बन नहीं पा रही है यूपीएससी की शीट पर, ये भी बहुत नॉर्मल प्रॉब्लम है. तो क्या करना? हेडिंग डालना कॉन्सेप्ट, फिर यूएस इंडिया, यहां पे डालना हेडिंग नेचर एंड देन राइट एंड देन. तो हेडिंग्स तो देने पड़ेंगे because that gives the clarity to the examiner that you exactly know what you are writing. And this kind of answer writing can be used across the spectrum, even in your optional also. जब भी दो entities को compare, contrast करोगे, parameters जरूर लिखना, you will get extra 1 mark for that. Is that very clear for everyone? ठीक है. But ये जितना अच्छा writing होता है, इसका एक छोटा सा problem है, आपकी गलती भी तुरंत दिखेगी. तो गलती नहीं करना. ठीक है, जैसे मैं बोलती हूँ ना कि बॉक्स बनाओ, अंडरलाइन करो. अब सपोज करो आपने जो टर्म अंडरलाइन करा उसी की स्पेलिंग गलत है, तो अब इसका तो देखो मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकती. ये तो फिर आपको सुधारना है कि जो गलती ओवरलुक की जा सकती थी आपने एग्जामिनर के मुंह पर बता दी, देखो स्पेलिंग नहीं आती हमको. सो द पॉइंट हियर इज ये नहीं करना है. सो मेक श्योर यू डोंट मेक एरर्स हियर. इज इट वेरी क्लियर फॉर एवरीवन? ठीक है. Let's start with that question. See, I always believe that even though you might not be getting various questions on art and culture or ancient medieval when it comes, art and culture का 1 या 2 सवाल आता है. Ancient medieval usually mains में नहीं आता, लेकिन काम बहुत आता है. काम कैसे आता है? इस क्वेश्चन को दोबारा पढ़ो. Are tolerance, assimilation and pluralism the key element in making Indian form of secularism? Justify your answer. मतलब examples देने पड़ेंगे. So the first thing is very simple. We can start with what is Indian form of secularism. तो पूरा introduction तो हो गया Indian form of secularism, और ये आप सबको पता होगा when we study this. अब फिर मैंने इस आंसर को 3 पार्ट्स में डिवाइड करा. टॉलरेंस, assimilation and pluralism. और टॉलरेंस दिखाने के लिए मैं शुरू हो गई क्रोनोलॉजी से. एक एग्जाम्पल एंशियंट से उठाया, दैट हाउ समुद्रगुप्त वॉज द डिवाउट फॉलोअर ऑफ हिंदुइज्म, येट ही गेव परमिशन टू मेघवर्मन टू एस्टैब्लिश बुद्धिस्ट मोनेस्ट्री एट बोध गया. सो दैट शोज हाउ वी आर टॉलरेंट टू ईच अदर्स, मतलब बिलीव्स और प्रैक्टिसेस. एक लाइन में शुरू में टॉलरेंस की डेफिनेशन ब्रैकेट में दे देना. उससे क्या होगा, आपको भी कॉन्फिडेंस रहेगा व्हाट यू आर राइटिंग इज राइट. देन अगेन लेट एंशियंट अर्ली मीडिएवल पीरियड, एग्जांपल ऑफ हर्षवर्धन. देन मीडिएवल पीरियड कृष्णदेव राय. देन मॉडर्न पीरियड गोविंद रानडे और गोपाल कृष्ण गोखले और गांधी जी. सो हाउ वी हैव ऑलवेज बीन tolerant, and that has created grounds for the kind of secularism that we are practicing. And finally post independence. ये क्रोनोलॉजी आपको आती होगी क्योंकि आपने एंशियंट मिडिएवल पढ़ा होगा. आपको इसलिए भी आती होगी क्योंकि आप प्रीलिम्स दे चुके होगे बिफोर राइटिंग योर मेंस, तो ये आपको याद भी होगा. देन assimilation. Okay, now here let me tell you, when I saw the question, I was not happy on two grounds. One, India is an example of integration. Assimilation का मतलब होता है there is a large group, small cultural groups becomes the part of it to the extent that their individual cultural identity is lost. But that's not true. We are an example of integration, that although we are the part of the larger society, but our individual culture is not being lost. We will not contest this. यूपीएससी का क्वेश्चन है, वहां झगड़ा थोड़ी ना करेंगे कि गलत क्वेश्चन है, हम तो इंटीग्रेशन का एग्जाम्पल है, आपने असिमिलेशन कैसे पूछा ना. असिमिलेशन का एग्जाम्पल दो, ये बताओ हाउ वी आर असिमिलेटिंग, गिव वन और टू एग्जाम्पल्स. फिर बहुत प्यार से लिख दो, हाउएवर इंडिया इज अ बेटर एग्जाम्पल ऑफ इंटीग्रेशन. वाई? बिकॉज आवर इंडिविजुअल कल्चर्स आर प्रोटेक्टेड एंड रिस्पेक्टेड. पर झगड़ा नहीं करना, ठीक है? तो आंसर वही लिखो जो वो पूछ रहे, बट धीरे से अपनी बात कह दो एक लाइन में. इज दैट वेरी क्लियर फॉर एवरीवन? ठीक. नेक्स्ट, प्लूरलिज्म. अगेन आई विल टेल द सेम थिंग. प्लूरलिज्म में झगड़ा नहीं करेंगे. आई वॉज अ बिलीवर कि हम मल्टीकल्चरल हैं, लेकिन इन जनरल क्योंकि अब प्लूरलिज्म आ गया तो कह देते हैं डोमिनेंट कल्चर है, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? ठीक है, तो वी हैव अ डोमिनेंट कल्चर, बट देयर इज हार्मोनियस को एग्जिस्टेंस अमंग द डाइवर्स कल्चर. एंड देन यू टेक द एग्जाम्पल, चाहे फेस्टिवल्स हो गए, आर्ट एंड आर्किटेक्चर हो गया, लिंग्विस्टिक कल्चरल राइट्स हो गए. सो आर वी जस्टिफाइंग आवर आंसर? Are you getting the point? So don't beat around the bush, exactly write what is being asked. And finally, we can conclude by saying that differences does not mean conflict. What we need to do is accommodate differences, for which what is required? Tolerance, assimilation, and pluralism. Hence, they are the three pillars of Indian secularism. उन्होंने हमसे पूछा, are tolerance and all this has been involved in making? हमने कह दिया, yes, they are in making. So we have exactly answered the demand of the question. But again, I'll reiterate, it does not mean you have to write the same points. But जो चीजें नहीं बदलती हैं वो है structure of the answer. Is it making sense for everyone? ठीक, चलो. Let's start with the next topic, population and associated issues. It's a very simple topic. I will be using this flowchart reference even in tomorrow's lecture. So I'm giving you the flowchart today, but I'll be making some reference to this in tomorrow's lecture because social justice is very closely related to this topic. Now, the topic in the syllabus was just population and associated issues. और उससे आप कभी गेस नहीं कर पाओगे कि आपको पढ़ना किस डायरेक्शन में and what to expect. The first thing is, in our context, our population is huge. We are the most populous nation in the world. So there is a constant debate with respect to high population, whether it is an asset or a liability. ये हम क्यों discuss करते हैं? और why should we prepare this topic is, because from asset, you come to another topic that is known as human capital. तो यहाँ से एक टॉपिक और निकल के आता है, that is human capital formation. Then the basic thing that we have to talk about is demography, because we have the youngest population. So what is demography? What are different types of demography? And most important topic on which you can expect a question, that is demographic dividend. Then factors affecting population change. Remember, empowering women is key to controlling population growth. You will be studying that under fertility. Then another major problem is mortality. And then you will study in detail migration. ये अभी छोटा लग रहा है. Migration में पढ़ेंगे what is migration, what are types of migration, causes, consequences, way forward, government efforts. That is nothing but migration. Then vulnerable sections should be covered under population and associated issue. Women आप separately पढ़ते हो, caste आप separately पढ़ते हो. बचे हुए जितने भी sections हैं, child, old age, person with disability, transgender, tribals, everything come under vulnerable sections. And finally, you study population policy. Population policy mein you study everything. What is population policy? Evolution of population policy. Last time ki 2 national population policies. What should be the future population policy? What is population education? You study everything under population policy. That is how comprehensive topics have to be created. Is that very clear? But having said that, कोई guarantee नहीं होता कि इसमें से आ जाएगा. But हमारा ये belief होता है कि अगर इतना भी पढ़ लो, तो at least कुछ भी आएगा, you will be able to answer. Is that clear? Let's see the questions. There was a question which was asked on population education. But having said that, I'm generally asking that let us suppose we all know our population is very high and I have to educate you with respect to population. What should I discuss with you? Family planning? Acha, or kuch? Family planning. Something more, I have to start from the scratch. Family planning is the last thing. If I have to start from the scratch, how would, okay, let us assume you have to teach someone about population. So what is the first thing that you will be talking about? Problem, scarcity of resources, family planning. पहली चीज क्या बताओगे? What is the statistics? What is the nature of our population? And then you will talk about that whether population is high or low. When you are talking about population is very high, then you will be talking about its impact, how it is impacting social, political, economic, most importantly, how it is impacting development, how it is impacting environment, what are the benefits of small family, how can you have small family, so all the initiatives taken with respect to family planning, how every individual should be responsible for their action. ये basic चीजें हम बताएंगे. Actually, यही answer था. They asked what are the objectives of population education. Discuss the main objectives of population education and point out the measures to achieve them in India in detail. Second part तो factual है. जो भी measures लिए हैं in order to promote population education in India. That can be one thing. यहाँ पे एक interpretation और आता है. What are the main objectives of population education and point out the measures to achieve those objectives in India. So whatever objectives India has taken or whatever measures India has taken, whether it was national population policy or let us say it was family planning initiatives, or let us say it was awareness at the grassroots level through ASHA workers or primary healthcare centers. Everything can be incorporated. But the first part was discuss the main objectives of population education. It was a direct question. We discussed this in the class, but just for your reference, that let us assume you did not prepare for this topic. So how can you write? See the content. What are the objectives of population education? पहली बात तो demographic concept and processes. Demography है कैसी? ये भी तो बताना पड़ेगा ना कि characteristic of our population क्या है? कम, ज़्यादा, कैसी population है? Then rapid growth of population and its causes. Then implication of the population trends on various aspects of our life. How population growth is related to development process, how it is having a negative impact on the environment, how it is important to appreciate the fact that small family is desirable. Most importantly, awareness about the government policies and programs, and in order to empower you to make informed decisions, to make you responsible for your actions. That is how it is the objective of population education. तो कहने का मतलब है अगर बाय चांस आपने नहीं भी पढ़ा तो भी आप आंसर छोड़ के नहीं आओगे. आपको बस ये सोचना है कि अगर आज आपको किसी को पॉपुलेशन के बारे में एजुकेट करना होगा तो इन क्रोनोलॉजी, मैं बार बार कह रही हूं, स्क्रैच से शुरू किया करो. फर्स्ट थिंग, अगर मुझे आपको पॉपुलेशन के बारे में एजुकेट करना है तो फर्स्ट चीज तो मैं यही बताऊंगी ना, व्हाट इज द नेचर ऑफ आवर पॉपुलेशन. अगर वो ज्यादा है तो उसके क्या कॉजेज हैं, उसके क्या implication है, उसका क्या solution होना चाहिए. As simple as that. So even if you don't know the answer, don't leave the question. I still remember एक time था, there was a question that according to Amartya Sen, primary health and education are in the poor state of affair. What is your opinion on that? बहुत सारे बच्चे ये देख के डर गए कि अमर्त्य सेन ने क्या बोला है प्राइमरी हेल्थ और एजुकेशन पे, वो तो हमको पता ही नहीं. अगर आप क्वेश्चन को ध्यान से देखो तो उन्होंने पूछा ही नहीं कि अमर्त्य सेन ने क्या कहा है. उन्होंने ये बोला कि अमर्त्य सेन के अकॉर्डिंग प्राइमरी हेल्थ और एजुकेशन अच्छी नहीं है, आपका क्या ओपिनियन है. सो रीड द क्वेश्चन केयरफुली एंड यू विल फाइंड द आंसर. इज दैट वेरी क्लियर फॉर एवरीवन? इट वाज एन इजी क्वेश्चन व्हिच कुड हैव बीन आंसर्ड. नेक्स्ट, आई थिंक वील स्टार्ट विद दिस क्वेश्चन. एक उनका फेवरेट टॉपिक है विमेन और दूसरा फेवरेट टॉपिक है यूपीएससी का ट्राइबल्स. देयर वाज अ क्वेश्चन, मैंने कल भी बताया था, दैट व्हाई सेक्स रेशियो अमंग शेड्यूल्ड ट्राइब्स इज बेटर देन शेड्यूल्ड कास्ट. नेक्स्ट ईयर द क्वेश्चन वाज, व्हाट आर द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल प्रोविजंस विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू द वेलफेयर ऑफ द ट्राइबल्स. Third year the question was, what are the 2 legal initiatives taken in order to empower the tribals. Fourth year, the question was, given the diversity among tribal community, in which specific context should they be considered as a single category? Tribals पढ़ना कैसे वो बता देती हूँ अभी. ये क्वेश्चन देखो, कुछ समझ आ रहा है ये क्वेश्चन क्या कह रहा है? Are tribals diverse? Hands down. In fact, this is one of the reasons for discontentment among Northeast. That why all of them are always treated as one. There is lot of diversity among Northeast. The tribals living in Northeast are very different from each other, whether it is their language, local culture, institution, practices, they are very different from each other. They are very different. Northeast tribals are very different from Northwest tribals, are very different from Central India belt. So there is a geographical diversity with exist with respect to the tribals. Not only geographical diversity, even the source of livelihood is also very different. There are many tribals who could reap the benefits of reservation and they have improved the status. But on the other hand, we also have PVTGs. We also have denotified nomadic, semi-nomadic tribes. So there exists difference, even the economic disparity. You cannot consider or treat tribals as a homogeneous group. That's the major problem which has been committed by the leadership since independence. They should not be treated as homogeneous. They are extremely diverse. So whether it is linguistic diversity, whether it is cultural diversity, whether it is geographical diversity, or let us say it is livelihood diversity, they are diverse. Is that even with respect to numbers also they are diverse. There are some tribals who have good number of population, but there are some tribal communities which have handful of population. So even in terms of numbers also there exists huge diversity. Given that, what are those specific contexts in which they can be considered as a single category? Hanji. Ah, brilliant. Their relation with nature. Absolutely, I'll take this point. In fact, even if they are practicing agriculture, the nature of agriculture is very different. They have a very integrated approach and they never think of causing harm to the environment. So for them, productivity is not the prime concern. Whereas agar hum mainstream agriculture ki baat kare, so productivity is the major concern. So they have a very beautiful relation with the nature. And that is one thing which connects all of them. Kuch aur? हाँ, they are more egalitarian, you are trying to say? Absolutely, yes. बहुत ज़्यादा stratification नहीं होता और उनका stratification का criteria different होता है, ठीक है? तो हाँ, हम egalitarianism कह सकते हैं. और कुछ problems हैं जो common है tribals में. हाँ, education and scientific backwardness, that can be a point. Even इसको link कर सकते हो health के साथ. That can also be one of the reason. इसी में एक और point add कर सकते हैं development led displacement. That can, हाँ, you were saying something. हाँ, बिल्कुल, absolutely we can say that. Minimalism can be a point, or let us say the cultural heritage. And many efforts have been made in order to preserve their cultural heritage. So these are the common contexts in which tribals can be created as or considered as a single category. And this becomes the answer. Did you get the point? बहुत बार सोसाइटी में क्वेश्चंस ऐसे नहीं होंगे जिसके लिए आप लिटरली पढ़ के जाओगे. ये पॉलिटी, इकोनॉमी, ज्योग्राफी नहीं है. वैसे अब तो ज्योग्राफी का भी नहीं है, वो पुरवैया पूछ लिया. सो द पॉइंट हियर इज कि यहाँ पर अब जितना, और एक चीज़ मैं देख रही हूँ यूपीएससी में और मैं एक्सपीरियंस से बता रही हूँ, जितना इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी रखोगे ना अपनी प्रेपरेशन, उतना आपको फायदा है. जैसे अगर आप पॉलिटी भी पढ़ रहे हो तो टॉपिक्स के अगर सोशल कोनोटेशंस हैं, इकोनॉमिक कोनोटेशन है, या इकोनॉमिक्स पढ़ रहे हो और उसके सोशल कोनोटेशन है, या हिस्ट्री पढ़ रहे हो विच कैन बी यूज्ड इन सोसाइटी, ऑलवेज हैव दैट इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी अप्रोच. आपकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ द टॉपिक विल ऑल्सो improve. You will start enjoying what you are studying. Otherwise तो क्या होता है ना, रटने वाली स्थिति आ जाती है. अब ये एग्जाम वो नहीं रहा जहाँ रटने. तभी आप देखोगे बहुत सारे लोग बोलेंगे फरवरी में प्रेपरेशन स्टार्ट करी थी और पहले ही अटेम्प्ट में क्लियर हो गया. क्योंकि वो रटने वाला अब रहा नहीं है सिस्टम. इट इज ऑल अबाउट हाउ गुड ऑब्जर्वेशन यू हैव एंड हाउ वेल यू कैन प्रेजेंट योर arguments. That is the main game as far as this exam is concerned. Knowledge is required, but rote learning is not desirable. Is that very clear? ठीक है. Tribals, एक बार देख लेते हैं आंसर. Tribals constitute 8.6% of the population. There exists ruralization of tribals. There exists wide range of diversity with respect to language, culture, size of population, and mode of livelihood. Under all these things, see, we have given 4 examples. क्योंकि बिना एग्जाम्पल दिए बात जस्टिफाई कैसे होगी? So every point, just write the example. That I'm giving a linking statement. Despite the diversity, they can be treated as a single category under following context. First is multidimensional poverty. Second is low literacy rate. Third is health indicators. Fourth, development induced displacement. Harmony with nature with respect to cultural preservation. And finally, we can conclude the answer that despite the diversity, their life experiences binds them. So urgent need is to address the vulnerability of the tribals. Is that very clear for everyone? Okay. There is another very interesting question which was asked. Examine the uniqueness of tribal knowledge system when compared with mainstream knowledge. Comparison आ गया? Comparison है तो parameter होना चाहिए. आप सोचो क्या बनेगा? देखो, मेडिसिनल ट्रीटमेंट, तो मेडिसिनल ट्रीटमेंट बना पैरामीटर और दोनों में फिर कंपैरिजन दे देना. आई टेक दिस. और कुछ बताओ? एग्रीकल्चरल प्रैक्टिसेस, ये बना पैरामीटर और फिर दोनों को डिस्कस कर लो. ब्रिलियंट. और बताओ? हाँ ठीक है, तो वो द नेचर ऑफ नॉलेज की बात कर सकते हैं. हाँ हो गया, उसमें आ जाएगा. वर्शिप ऑफ नेचर कह लो या नेचर से हार्मनी, जो भी है विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू नेचर. और कुछ? ओरिजिन ऑफ नॉलेज. हाउ डू यू ट्रांसमिट द नॉलेज? जैसे मेन स्ट्रीम नॉलेज ओरिजिनेट कहाँ से करती है? साइंटिफिक इन्वेस्टिगेशन से, रिसर्च वगैरह होता है, ठीक है. वो ट्रांसमिट कैसे होती है? डॉक्यूमेंटेड होती है, इंस्टीट्यूशनलाइज्ड होती है. लेकिन जो ट्राइबल नॉलेज होती है, that is basically emerging from observation. Even today, they are resorting to their traditional knowledge. For example, by movement of birds and animals, they try to predict how would be the monsoon this year. So even today, it is based on observation of the nature and how it is getting transmitted through oral aspect, or let us say the social indulgence, or let us say the cultural practices. एक मेन स्ट्रीम नॉलेज की वैलिडिटी कब तक होगी? जब तक नई डिस्कवरीज ना हो जाए, और ट्राइबल नॉलेज की वैलिडिटी तब तक होगी जब तक वो अपने कल्चर से अलग ना हो जाए. So basically, the validity in context of tribal is existing for a longer period of time. Then you can add all this medicinal aspect हो गया, agricultural practices हो गई, overall cultural features हो गए, that can be added. But if you know the parameters, writing answer becomes easy. Is that very clear? And one thing is there, ये किसी category में fall नहीं किया था topic. Even if you prepare tribals wholeheartedly, this category was not expected. हाँ, but इसकी knowledge in general होती है, क्योंकि लोग आपस में बात करते रहते हैं, जानकारी लेते रहते हैं, तो some people have the knowledge कि tribal knowledge कैसे system evolve करा और how it is different from mainstream. But that is not falling under the category. So in such questions, you have to use your presence of mind. Is that very clear for everyone? But how one should prepare tribals, ये बता देती हूँ. It's an important topic UPSC will be asking. When you study tribals as a topic, the basic question, who are tribals? What are the characteristic features of the tribals? जब ये पढ़ोगे अपने आप diversity वाला topic यहाँ पे cover हो जाएगा. फिर you will study issue with respect to tribals. How the situation of tribals before Britishers, during Britishers and post-independence period. तो जब हम ब्रिटिश से पोस्ट इंडिपेंडेंस पर आते हैं, there is a topic which needs to be prepared, that is policy with respect to tribals. There were three debatable policies that time, ki policy of isolation as suggested by Verrier Elvin, policy of assimilation as suggested by G.S. Gure, or policy of integration as suggested by Jawaharlal Nehru. Finally, what we followed was policy of integration. Based on that, what you got was Panchsheel principles. Now, based on integration, what have been the government efforts? जब government efforts पढ़ते हैं, ये standard तरीका होता है किसी के लिए भी. Constitutional efforts, statutory provisions, जैसे आपका Forest Right Act हो गया, PESA हो गया. So this is nothing but statutory provision. For example, Prevention of Atrocity Act with respect to SC, ST. Again, that is nothing but statutory. Then you have schemes, Vandhan scheme, Eklavya Residential Model School, or let us say TriFed. These are nothing but the initiatives taken by the government for the upliftment of the tribals. But despite that, there are challenges. That means there are lacunas. What should be the way forward? Is that very clear? यहाँ तक आपने पढ़ा. इसके बाद there is one thing that you are going to add here, and that is contemporary aspect. Let us say in your news there is discussion about PVTGs. Let us say there is in your news discussion about denotified tribes, nomadic, semi-nomadic tribes. That has to be prepared. And let us say अब न्यूज में भी नहीं है, बट फिर भी कम वॉट में आपको पीवीटीजीज और डीनोटिफाइड ट्राइब्स को पढ़ के जाना है. ठीक है. जब आप वे फॉरवर्ड पढ़ोगे, देयर आर टू कमीशंस. वन इज वर्जीनियस खाका रिपोर्ट and other is the report which was submitted by Idate Commission with respect to the denotified tribes. Both the reports ka suggestion has to be prepared. Let us suppose koi question aa gaya and you are not prepared with this suggestion, but you have to suggest some way forward. क्योंकि प्रैक्टिस नहीं हो रहा है, तो आप पंचशील आसानी से वे फॉरवर्ड में लिख सकते हो दैट द प्रोविजंस ऑफ द पंचशील प्रिंसिपल हैज टू बी फॉलोड बोथ इन लेटर एंड स्पिरिट. बट अच्छा लगेगा अगर आप वर्जीनियस खाका रिपोर्ट को मेंशन कर सको. अच्छा लगेगा आंसर अगर आप इदाते कमीशन की रिपोर्ट को मेंशन कर सको. इससे क्या होता है ना, एक वैल्यू ऐड होती है कि आप पढ़ कर आए हो और आपको पता है कि ट्राइबल्स इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक है तो पढ़ना ही है. सो ट्राई टू प्रिपेयर इट होलिस्टिकली. एक आपको सजेशन देती हूँ, whenever you are preparing, let us suppose you are preparing constitutional provision, and if I have to prepare with respect to tribals, with respect to definition, with respect to political empowerment, हम कह सकते हैं आर्टिकल 330, 332, 243D, 243T, with respect to educational and economic empowerment. Can I say article 15, article 16, article 46, article 335? With respect to administrative aspect, can I say 5th and 6th schedule? With respect to cultural rights, can I say article 29 and article 30? With respect to agency to protect their rights, can I say article 338? UPSC ने पूछा constitutional provision with respect to tribals. अगर आप एक हेडिंग दोगे और फिर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल प्रोविजंस लिखोगे, बेटर मार्क्स मिलेंगे. आपको भी क्लैरिटी रहेगी, आप कोई आर्टिकल छोड़ोगे नहीं. दिस इज हाउ द प्रिपरेशन शुड बी डन. इससे दो फायदे, प्री भी तैयार हो जाएगा और मेंस भी. देयर इज नो सेपरेट प्रिपरेशन एज फार एज प्री एंड मेंस आर कंसर्न्ड. ये आपको हेल्प करेगा अगर सपोज करो आपको इंटरव्यू स्टेज में ट्राइबल्स पे कोई सवाल आ जाए. यू विल हैव क्रेडिबिलिटी टू योर आर्ग्यूमेंट्स इफ द प्रोविजंस ऑफ योर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन आर ऑन योर टिप्स. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि इट इज नॉट वर्थ योर इन्वेस्टमेंट. It is worth investing your time. Is that very clear? ठीक है. We'll take the last topic for the day. Then society would be over. Poverty and developmental issues. Poverty is covered under two topics. One is GS paper 1. Heading is poverty and developmental issues. In GS paper 2 also you have poverty, and that it is poverty and hunger. So I'm giving you the flow chart today, but I'll be referring to this flow chart even tomorrow, because in GS paper 2 also the questions from poverty is asked. Now, how do we prepare poverty? Although you study in economics, but the manner is very different. If I have a topic poverty, the standard way of preparing is you prepare the concept of poverty, you prepare the manifestation of poverty, you prepare, is it a violation of human rights? Once we have done this, then you prepare approaches to poverty. Whether it is a nutritional approach or a relative deprivation approach. Absolute poverty or relative poverty. एक topic है which is added from economics here, estimates of poverty, because that is what you study in economics. How do you calculate poverty? Then we study what is known as causes of poverty. Then you should prepare implication of poverty. Prepare government efforts. It has to be prepared in detail. You get direct question on government efforts. Once you prepare government efforts, then you prepare the lacunas. And if you prepare the lacunas, you have to prepare the way forward. And just add one thing in these topic, and that is sustainable development goals. First 5 sustainable development goals are mandatory to be prepared, and it has to be prepared in detail. So concept of poverty, manifestation of poverty, is it a violation of human rights, approaches to poverty, causes, implication, government efforts, lacunas, way forward, and finally, sustainable development goals. I'll tell you a trick to prepare sustainable development goal. You will never go wrong with it, because there is very high possibility you get a question on sustainable development goals. Prepare the goal. Within the goal, prepare the targets. Prepare government efforts to achieve those targets. If there are efforts, that means there will be some kind of achievements, but at the same time, there will be some kind of challenges. And if there are challenges, you should prepare a way forward. Very high probability you get questions from sustainable development goals. One should prepare. And if you directly don't get a question on sustainable development goal, this kind of preparation will help you writing other answers. That's for sure. Clear? Okay? Let's start with 2 questions which were being asked. See the first question. Despite the implementation of various programs for eradication of poverty by Government of India, poverty is still existing. Explain by giving reason. Now look at your flow chart. Where will it fall? Government efforts and lacunas. फिर से पढ़ो question. Despite implementation of various programs, you have to mention the government efforts. Poverty is still persisting. That means those efforts were not successful. That means there are certain lacunas, and you will not end your answer on lacuna. You will provide some way forward. See, it's a direct question. So if you prepare in detail the flow chart, आ ही जाएगा. और कल जब हम GS पेपर 2 के सवाल उठाएंगे तब आपको दिखेगा कि फ्लो चार्ट से बिल्कुल सॉल्व हो जाएगा. ठीक है. रीड द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. COVID-19 pandemic accelerated class inequality and poverty in India. Comment. That was a direct question from Mains 365. उस साल जब कोविड का सिचुएशन था तो मेंस 365 में टॉपिक था. और जब हमने कोविड की तैयारी करी थी फ्रॉम द पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू ऑफ यूपीएससी, हमने कुछ टॉपिक्स तैयार करे थे. कोविड विसवी विमेन, कोविड विसवी चाइल्ड लेबर, कोविड विसवी एजुकेशन, कोविड विसवी हेल्थ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, कोविड विसवी पावर्टी. तो इफ यू प्रिपेयर, क्योंकि एक्सपेक्टेड था कि कोविड पे आएगा, ये नहीं पता था कैसे आएगा बट आएगा. तो इफ यू प्रिपेयर इट लाइक दिस, और कहां से ये इंफॉर्मेशन मिली? क्योंकि कोविड वाज देयर इन करंट. सो इफ समथिंग हैपेंस इन करंट, फॉर एग्जांपल, as of now I will not be telling you what to prepare or what to expect for this year. I am waiting for the government to be formed and for them to introduce the reforms. because that will decide what would be our current preparation. But no matter how much you prepare the current, as far as society is concerned, the large focus has to be on concepts. It has to be on examples. It has to be on statistics. That has to be there. Which newspaper do you read? Hindu? Did you read today's editorial? There are two big articles. One is on health. If you read that article, it is clearly mentioned that in context of health system in India, the approach should be bottom to top. And they have given you the suggestions. If you read that article, you will find the answer to your questions related to health from that article. Another question, why whatever result of election has come in context of Maharashtra, what are the reason? If you read the reason, they have clearly mentioned one of the reason was that the reservation demand under OBC category by the dominant caste was not being paid heed. So what did we get an idea? That reservation is an issue. Other than that, dominant caste is an issue. Then dominant caste, why despite being dominant, they are demanding reservation? Because there are some labor market problems. Hence, what should be the solution? तो घूम फिर के कितना भी करंट पढ़ लो, सोसाइटी में आपको आना स्टैटिक पे ही पड़ेगा. अगर आपको पता ही नहीं है डोमिनेंट कास्ट क्या है, वो रिजर्वेशन क्यों डिमांड कर रहे हैं, क्या उससे उनकी लेबर मार्केट प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व होगी, अगर होगी तो कैसे, एंड इफ नॉट देन व्हाट नीड्स टू बी डन, आपको आना ही पड़ेगा स्टैटिक कॉन्सेप्चुअल पोर्शंस पर. हाँ, लेकिन करंट आपको आइडिया देगा दैट विच पोर्शंस कैन नॉट बी स्किप्ड एट ऑल. बट सोसाइटी में क्या ना, क्योंकि सिलेबस ही लिमिटेड है, तो हम वो स्किपिंग वाला ऑप्शन आपको देंगे नहीं. यू हैव टू प्रिपेयर एवरीथिंग, because there is lot at stake when it comes down to society. Is that clear? So is the first question easy? Everyone can attempt this. एक बार COVID वाला question देख लेते हैं. For example, if I have to tell students to prepare something, I will say prepare uniform civil code. That has to be prepared. I'll say prepare live-in relationship. I'll say prepare role of caste in politics. ऐसा नहीं है कि बाकी छोड़ सकते हैं. But this is something which is in news. But society में there is no guarantee कि जो news में है वो आएगा, क्योंकि society holistically ही आपको पढ़ के जाना है. Is that clear? Now, there is one question which was asked on education, but I'll not discuss it here because anyway education is a topic from GS paper 2. हम वो कल discuss करेंगे, ठीक है? Has COVID-19 widened poverty and class inequality? Poverty तो हम समझ सकते हैं, ठीक है, कि poverty वो aggravate हुई है. Class inequality में क्या क्या लिख सकते हैं? Class inequality में सबसे ज्यादा फर्क किस क्लास के सेक्शन को पड़ा है? हाँ, ठीक है. The informal sector workers. So you can talk about the informal sector worker. Even in informal sector worker, you can talk about casual workers also, and you can also talk who were working in gig economy. In class inequality, you can also have a gendered perspective to it, that how women has bore the major brunt. You can also link it that how education become a scarce thing. Why? Because not everyone was having access to digital infrastructure. So if education is not being provided to all, then the chances of aggravation of class inequality is very high. Most importantly, many people succumb to out-of-pocket expenditure. Health infrastructure is expensive. Not everyone is covered under insurance. So many a times out-of-pocket expenditure has also put a burden on their pocket. So chances of widening the gap between haves and have-nots is also very high. In many families, agar poverty mein likhna hai, the main breadwinner has succumbed to the virus, which has put the sustainability of the family under threat. Is it making sense? So aisa nahi hai, you don't know the points. Anyway, it was a direct topic from Mains 365. Just have a look. Impact of COVID-19 has been far-reaching, both economic and social fallout. Although every section was affected by COVID-19, this was one situation where no rich, no poor was left, but it has accelerated the class inequality and poverty. Now, when there are two topics in the question, one thing is clear, there has to be two subheadings in the body. So one, acceleration of poverty, you will get all the data. ये उस time पे question जब पूछा था तब ये data आया था. ILO ने कहा था कि 400 million workers in the informal sector will further be pushed in the trap of poverty. Why? Because of strict lockdown, losing the jobs and reduction in wages, reduced source of income. Many people who were working in gig economy or because of strict lockdown, they had no other sources of income. They were forced to sell their productive assets, which in long term is not a good thing. Then rise in unemployment. Many people lost the job. Increase in out-of-pocket expenditure. Acceleration of class inequality. Inequality का मतलब है we do not have equal access to right resources and opportunity. Anyway, Oxfam report has said inequality exists in our society, which further got aggravated because of COVID-19. For example, there were many people, let us say the people who are habitating in slums. It is densely populated area. The social distancing was not maintained. The hygiene in those areas anyway is a luxury. So in that case, they were suffering more as compared to others. Chances of class inequality was high. Then issues with respect to informal sector. That is another point. Then impact on women. Similarly, small and medium enterprises or disruption in overall education. This is how you can prepare the answer. Now, before we wind up today's thing, do you realize how important it is to give subheadings? Even in every point, if you give a disclaimer on the side, it gives a clarity to the person who's reading. आपका आंसर पढ़ने का मन करता है क्योंकि वो बहुत dense नहीं होता. Do not write very dense answers. It is very repulsive. Let us suppose you come across a script जिसमें बहुत भरा भरा लिखा हुआ है, proper gaps नहीं है. You don't feel like reading such answers. Presentation matters a lot. I'll just tell you a very small thing. I was, when preparing, so it was my first attempt. So, वो नहीं होता when you are a first attempter, you are all very, जोश में, अरे ये तो एक attempt में clear करेंगे. और मैं तो वो plan भी हो गया था कि top 10, and then I was having a friend. So, we were like कि 23 second में first रख लेती हूँ. वो सब बकवास होता है. So, all of that was good. So, मेरे ना ambitions बहुत बड़े थे. But जो मेरी वो friend थी ना, उसके बहुत बड़े वो ambitions नहीं थे. She had a very small, I just asked her कि तेको क्या चाहिए? मतलब, what rank do you want? How much marks? फालतू की बकवास बातें. So then she's like, "Nahi Smriti, I have very small targets." I was like, "What is your target?" She's like, "In every answer I want to score just 1 extra mark." I was like, ये ना serious नहीं है एग्जाम को लेकर. क्योंकि उस वक्त ना मुझे उसकी बात समझ नहीं आई. जब बाद में सोचा और अप्लाई किया, तो सोचो आपके 4 GS के पेपर है, हर पेपर में 20 क्वेश्चन है. अगर हर क्वेश्चन में जितना आपको आना चाहिए, आप लिखते वक्त ये सोच रहे हो इस आंसर में मैं ऐसा क्या और लिख दूं that I just fetch 1 extra mark. Should I write a quote? Should I write a diagram? Should I write a flow chart? Should I make a table? Should I give a good subheadings or the presentation? Because my target is only one, just 1 extra mark. 20 extra marks in one paper, 80 extra marks in GS. And you are through the list. She cleared the exam in the first attempt. So the point here is कि ये एग्जाम में इतने बड़े टारगेट शायद बनाने नहीं थे. मैंने इतने अनरियलिस्टिक टारगेट सेट कर लिए कि अंडर द प्रेशर ऑफ दैट अनरियलिस्टिक टारगेट्स आई जस्ट कुडंट परफॉर्म. So this exam is not that difficult. It's just that you need to have right kind of strategies. Is that very clear? So I will just show you one thing to give a wholesome thing from my side. This is how the overall diagram, provided it gets visible soon. This is the complete syllabus. Now just look at the syllabus. Have we done the brainstorming for every topic? Salient features, role of women, impact of globalization, communalism, regionalism, secularism, population associated issues, poverty, urbanization, problem and remedies. I missed one topic here deliberately, that is social empowerment. Reason is, जब हम population and associated issues पढ़ते हैं, तो उसमें मैंने आपको flowchart में दिया है vulnerable sections. That vulnerable section is nothing but a part of social empowerment. Is that very clear? Whom are we going to socially empower? The vulnerable sections. So when you prepare vulnerable sections, that becomes the part of social empowerment. So is every brainstorming done? We have discussed the questions. Did you understand the writing style? Did you understand that what you can expect in near future? One thing is a given non-negotiable. Every aspect of the syllabus has to be covered. Second non-negotiable, prepare flowcharts, diagrams wherever it is feasible for you. Third thing, prepare a separate page where all the necessary statistics or data is being covered. But for that, there is a disclaimer. Do not start preparing the data every time. Whenever you are writing your mains or you are writing your prelims, just before that you have to prepare the data, because data changes very frequently. तो unnecessarily do not bother yourself. हर बार आप डेटा याद करते हो, पता चला उस साल एग्जाम ही नहीं देना है, तो फिर क्या जरूरत है उस डेटा को जबरदस्ती याद करने की, क्योंकि अगले साल डेटा बदल जाएगा. ठीक है, और जब भी डेटा याद करो सोर्स के साथ याद करना. दैट इज अनदर थिंग. अनदर इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट इज, एक पेपर में क्रिएट करो ऑल द नेसेसरी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल प्रोविजन, legal provision and government scheme with respect to all the vulnerable sections. That's another target that you have to do. The third most important thing is collect good quotations. Collect good statements given by the political leaders. For example, Honorable Prime Minister, if he says something, or the Finance Minister, if the person, or the, let us say, Foreign External Affair Minister, if they make some statement which is good statement which can be written, please collect. That will impact your overall style of writing. And no matter how much we say, it is my experience, you cannot make diagrams, flowcharts or tables in the exam if you have not prepared or practiced it before. वो एग्जाम में बनेगा ही नहीं. अगर आप ये सोचो मैं आई और मैंने बस बता दिया कि ऐसे टेबल बननी चाहिए, तो वो मैं यहाँ नहीं बना रही हूँ. प्रैक्टिस से ही वो टेबल बनेगी. वो फ्लो चार्ट तब तक नहीं बनेगा जब तक कॉन्सेप्चुअल क्लैरिटी नहीं है. इज दैट वेरी क्लियर फॉर एवरीवन? एक पीस ऑफ एडवाइस देती हूँ अपने एक्सपीरियंस से, लिख लिख के पढ़ा करो. वो जो आदत नहीं है पन्ने पलट के पढ़ने की, वो दिन गए. लिख लिख के पढ़ने के 3 फायदे होते हैं. पहली, स्पीड बढ़ती है. दूसरी, राइटिंग इंप्रूव होती है. और तीसरी, अपने आप डायग्राम्स और फ्लो चार्ट्स आ जाते हैं. क्योंकि जब आप लिख लिख के पढ़ते हो तो हर बार तो पूरी चीज लिखोगे नहीं, तो फिर आप अपनी बात को रिवाइज करने के लिए यू स्टार्ट मेकिंग दोज diagrams, and you would not realize within some minutes you will start getting that edge. And this is also known as a technique of active recall, जो कि मेंस में बहुत जरूरी है. Because prelims में the answers are right in front of you. मेंस में you have to recall the answers. आप कितना भी पन्ने पलट के पढ़ लो, आप मेंस में तब तक नहीं लिख सकते जब तक आपने किताब बंद करके you have not started recalling what you have studied. And in that context, these flowcharts come very handy. Is it making sense for everyone? So this is basic minimum which has to be done as far as this section is concerned. And these strategies can easily be applied in other sections. Okay? So on this note, we wind up the discussion session on society. Tomorrow, I will discuss with you social justice. Is that very clear for everyone? Okay, chalo.